Inflation Reduction Act promises to bring great tax incentives for the people of this land. Well, let's find out if that is in fact the case with our good friend Thomas Spade, certified public accountant and instructor with CFC's School of Business on this Money Monday. Great to have you back.
It's wonderful to be back as usual.
This has been on the lips of so many people. On the one hand, there are those who just absolutely love it, and there are its critics. So maybe we can fall somewhere in between and just talk about some of those tax incentives that are supposed to help us, the taxpayer.
What's gotten the most press about this has been the new tax on billion-dollar corporations. Let's just forget about that and concentrate on the stuff that's going to apply to everyday people.
Yes.
The first one that's going to apply to everyday people is going to be the things for your house, like energy efficient home improvements. This is for energy efficient windows. It's for a new heating and air conditioning system. It's for anything, almost anything within what they call the building envelope, just not your roof. The nice part about this is it's 30% of the cost with an annual cap of $1,200 for most things, $2,000 for a new heating and air conditioning system. If this sounds familiar, it is almost just like something that happened back in 2009 and 2010.
Let me ask you this question though. Are we going to see not just at the end of the day, bottom line, those units are going to be less expensive, but what about installation? I mean, we also have to talk about labor.
It includes.
It does include labor.
It includes labor.
Okay, all right.
And not only that, you might be thinking, oh, I took that 10 years ago. Guess what? They got rid of the lifetime exclusion on that. So now it's just an annual limit that you can use.
Okay.
So what you can do, if you plan it right, maybe replace just a couple of windows a year, then you can get the full credit over time.
Okay.
There are also going to be credits for manufactured homes that are energy efficient. So for those who might be interested in purchasing manufactured housing, there are going to be federal tax credits available for that if they're energy efficient, and also some at the state level too.
Okay, let's talk about cars.
Cars, oh yeah. Okay, so here's the new one. It used to be that there was a cap on the number of vehicles the manufacturer could build that were eligible for the credit. Tesla, I'm looking at you. Now, that limit is gone. So now it's going to be on any vehicle built in North America and that has a majority of the components of the battery built in North America. It gets very complicated beyond that. We're not going to go there.
Yeah.
So all we need to know for now is most of the battery has to be built in North America, and the car has to be assembled in North America. In that case, the tax credit's $7,500. Oh, by the way, you can take that credit, and instead of waiting until you file your tax return to claim it, you can actually sign it over to your dealer and count that as a down payment. But wait, there's more. Used vehicles. There's now a credit for buying a used electric vehicle.
Are there a lot of those out there? Have you discovered? Have you done any research on that?
Just by driving around downtown Charleston, I've seen a lot.
I haven't seen a lot of used electric vehicles, not yet. But I think that's really speaking to a very small portion of people who can afford those electric vehicles. And until they really become, I think, part of mass market, those tax credits don't sound like they're going to be that helpful.
Well, that's what these credits are there to do, is to try to get people to do these.
I know.
Now, for example, the new Ford F-150 Lightning that can now power your house. The tax credit applies to the cost of the vehicle and also to the equipment that you get to retrofit your house to get the truck to charge your house.
Finally, with just about 45 seconds left, the insurance subsidies.
Okay, I always say be careful. The thing with the insurance subsidies is they were expanded for this year. It was supposed to just go away this year. It's now, so if you got on Obamacare this year and you weren't eligible for it in years past, well, guess what? Your eligibility may stay the same for the next couple of years because they just extended that out. But I always say be careful. When you go get insurance under Obamacare, how much the government pays is based on your estimate of your income for the upcoming year. ignore your insurance agent when they tell you to lowball it, because what happens is when you file your tax return at the end of the year, you then have to calculate how much you should have gotten, and if you got too much, you have to pay it back.
Okay, and the one caveat to all of this is that it's best to apply this to not this year's taxes, because you won't be able to, but to next year's.
It's going to be on your 2023 return, so all this goes into effect January 1st.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good to see you. We're back after this.